Welcome back. Growing up, we were all told a very specific story. It was a simple equation for the American dream. Go to school, get a degree, get a corporate job, and hit that magic number, $100,000. Making six figures wasn't just a salary. It was a destination. It was the finish line. In the 90s and early 2000s, if you made $100,000 a year, you were elite. You drove a BMW, you had a house with a two-car garage, you went on vacations to places where the drinks came with little umbrellas, and you still had money left over to put into your 401k. Fast forward to 2026. Today, making $100,000 a year doesn't make you rich. In many American cities, it barely makes you middle class. In some of them, it makes you low income. If you are earning six figures and you still feel like you are living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to save and scrolling through Zillow looking at houses you can't afford, you are not crazy. And you're not bad with money. You're just living in a new economic reality where the math has completely broken. Today, we are going to look at the numbers that prove the 100K Club is no longer an elite VIP lounge. It is just the waiting room. We will break down exactly how much you actually need to buy a home in 2026, why the goalposts moved so fast, and why the American dream is rapidly turning into a monthly subscription service. Let's get into it. Let's start with the most painful numbers first. Recently, data came out analyzing the income required to buy a median-priced home in major U.S. cities. Not a mansion, not a penthouse, just a regular average home. A few bedrooms, a few bathrooms, maybe a patch of grass. If you were sitting down, good. In San Jose, the heart of Silicon Valley, the income required to qualify for a mortgage on an average home is now $547,000 a year. $500,000 just to be average. That means if you're a doctor married to a lawyer, you might be able to afford a bungalow built in 1970. Okay, you say, that's Silicon Valley, that place is fake. Fine. Let's look at Los Angeles or San Diego. To buy a home there, you need an annual income of over $300,000. New York City and Boston, you need to be pulling in $250,000. Do you see the pattern? In the coastal economic hubs where the jobs are, $100,000 isn't a good salary anymore. It's poverty wages with a tie. But here's the statistic that should actually scare you. Let's leave the big cities. Let's look at the national average, the entire United States. To comfortably afford the median home in America right now, you need an income of about $115,000 to $120,000. Now, compare that to reality. The median household income in the U.S. is stuck around $80,000. Do the math. The average American family is roughly $40,000 short of buying the average American home. The ladder has been pulled up. So why does 100K feel like 50K? It's not just inflation, although paying $18 for a sandwich certainly helps. It's the housing costs. Let's pretend you make exactly $100,000 after federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security, and health insurance. Your take-home pay is probably around $6,000 a month, maybe $6,500 if you live in a state with low taxes. Now, look at the housing market. Interest rates are hovering around 6%. Home prices are at historic highs. A starter home in a decent suburb costs $450,000. If you put 20% down, which is $90,000, by the way, so good luck saving that while paying rent, your monthly mortgage payment, with taxes and insurance, is going to be roughly $3,500. $6,500 income minus $3,500 housing. You have $3,000 left. Now pay for your car, your student loans, your groceries, your utilities, your phone, and your internet. Suddenly, that elite six-figure salary has vanished. You aren't buying a boat. You're hoping your check engine light doesn't turn on. This is why people are angry. We followed the script. We got the jobs. We got the raises. But every time we got a raise, the price of the house jumped by double that amount. It's like running on a treadmill where the incline keeps going up every 10 minutes. This economic reality is creating a massive psychological shift. We are seeing the rise of the forever renter. A few years ago, renting was seen as a temporary step. You rent after college, you save up, you buy a house, you have kids. That was the conveyor belt of life. Now, the conveyor belt is broken. Surveys from late 2025 show that nearly 40% of renters have accepted that they will never own a home. And honestly, some of them are okay with it. If you can't buy a house, why save for a down payment? Why eat rice and beans for 5 years to save $50,000 only to find out houses went up by $100,000? So people are spending that money elsewhere. This is why luxury brands are still doing okay. This is why travel is booming. It's called doom spending. If I can't afford the big thing, a house, I might as well enjoy the small things, a nice dinner or a trip to Japan. Developers know this. Have you noticed those new neighborhoods popping up that look like suburbs, but every single house is for rent? They call it build to rent. It's the Netflixification of housing. You don't own anything, you just subscribe to a roof over your head. It's convenient. The landlord fixes the AC. You can move whenever you want. But you never build equity. You never build wealth. You're just paying someone else's mortgage forever. There is one more villain in this story, and it's not just corporate greed or inflation. It's the golden handcuffs of the past. Remember 2020 and 2021 when mortgage rates were 3%? Millions of Americans bought houses or refinanced back then. They are sitting on a gold mine. Their mortgage payments are tiny compared to today's rates. These people are never going to move. Why would you sell a house where you pay $2,000 a month to buy a new house where you pay $4,000 a month? You wouldn't. This creates a shortage. Nobody is selling. So the inventory of homes for sale is tiny, and when supply is low and demand is high, prices go up. So we have a weird market where sales are down but prices are up. It defies logic, but it makes sense when you realize half the country is locked into their homes by cheap debt. So where does that leave us, the members of the not-so-exclusive 100K club? First, stop beating yourself up. If you're making six figures and feel broke, it's not because you bought too many lattes. It's because the purchasing power of your money has collapsed relative to assets. Second, we need to redefine what rich means. Rich isn't a salary number anymore. Rich is asset ownership. Rich is not having debt. The goalpost has moved from making 100K to owning something that makes money. The American dream is undergoing a massive renovation. It's smaller, it's more expensive, and for many it might not include a white picket fence at all. We are entering an era where financial flexibility might be more valuable than a deed to a house. But let me know in the comments. What does $100,000 look like in your city? Is it a ticket to the good life or just enough to pay the bills? And have you given up on buying a home or are you still fighting for it? Don't forget to like this video if it made you feel a little less alone in this economic mess, and subscribe for more deep dives into the money matrix. I'll see you in the next one.